Donald Trump just said on camera that he does not care about Americans' financial situation, and he's not even thinking about it when he negotiates with Iran. He actually said this.
So Trump just said on the White House lawn, he has absolutely no concern for the American people and their finances. He said he's not considering them in the least bit as he's negotiating this war. He doesn't care that people are paying more for gas because he is handing out contracts to his friends and to his sons. So why would he care that we're all paying more for gas, that people are paying more for health care for this war? So every time you go to the doctor and you can't afford your prescription, he doesn't care. He just said it out loud. And now they're scrambling behind the scenes, all of his staffers, to somehow get ahead of this. But he said it. He was asked a direct question. Are you considering the finances of the American people? He said, no, I don't care. Why would I? That's what he thinks of everybody. We are nothing more than a cash cow to this administration. And they will bleed us dry with this war, with everything that's going on, with them handing out money to their friends, this reflective pool that he apparently just gave the contract to somebody, $13-14 million now to paint a pool. He don't care about us. MAGA are a bunch of fools.
I hear that right.
Americans' financial situation, I don't think about anybody.
Yes, you did hear Donald Trump say that he does not think or care about the American financial situation. Are you surprised? Because this is what happens when you put in people that don't have your same lived experience. A lot of y'all were tricked by him going and getting in a dump truck and going and putting on an apron for an hour to pretend to be a McDonald's worker. He is not you. He cannot understand what it would feel like to go to the gas tank, take the gas handle off. Shit, he might not even understand how to open the gas cap, put it in, and watch as your savings just drowns. And before you know it, you see the price is $80 to fill up your tank. You have no choice but to pay that because $80 to him is nothing. But he and his sons con from the American people every single second. He cannot understand that $80 could be the difference between you having food for that night and going hungry for the next 2 weeks. But that's neither here nor there. I just thought you should see that he said it himself. He does not think or care or consider the American financial situation when he's making these policies up in Washington.
Americans' financial situation, I don't think about anybody.
Doesn't give a fuck. But y'all tell me what y'all think. Or were you like some of these senators who act like they could not understand or see what he said?
Donald Trump saying today in the press conference that he doesn't think about Americans' financial situation.
I don't know that he said that.
Yeah, he said it at the mics during shopper time.
That's not what I hear him every time.
Donald Trump saying that he doesn't think about the American people's financial situation. He just said it in the presser about an hour and a half ago.
Well, I didn't say that.
You haven't seen it yet? Got it.
Bye.
Breaking news. You thought you voted a president who cares about American people, but the guy doesn't care about your financial situation. Even if you're suffering, even if groceries are too high, he doesn't care. He only cares about his family. Those one who voted for him, who thought that the guy will care about your livelihoods, the guy will care about your financial status, he doesn't care. He's greedy, he cares about his stomach and his family. See how the Americans are reacting about his statement.
Yes, ma'am.
Yesterday, the president was asked about whether Americans' financial concerns were motivating him to make a deal with Iran. His response was, I don't think about Americans' financial situations. Do you think that's the right message? Do you think the president should be considering the financial toll
I don't know the context in which he made that comment, but I can tell you the president thinks about Americans' financial situations. I talk to him on average twice a day, sometimes 3 or 4 times a day, and we talk about it constantly. He's laser focused on trying to resolve the conflict in Iran because if we get the Strait of Hormuz, when we get the Strait of Hormuz reopened, that will alleviate a lot of pressure with gas prices and other things in the economy. Now, we've done everything.
We live in a world that is filled with knee-jerk reactionists that will jump at every single thing that Donald Trump says. Perfect example yesterday. He was asked by a reporter as to if there was anything that could be done potentially to sway him in regards to making a deal with Iran due to the economic standpoint and the positioning of gas prices and so forth, and how the Americans at home could be being hurt as a result or are being hurt as a result. Donald Trump answered the question like any real president should. There is absolutely nothing that can be done, period, in regards to making a deal with Iran outside of them not obtaining a nuclear weapon. I mean, if the president of the United States were to step up to the podium and answer a question from a reporter to the tune of, yeah, because we're hurting economically, because our gas prices have gone up $1 and some change, I'm willing to make a deal. That would be unbelievable. That would be unfathomable. That would be weak as fuck. And that's reality. That's the truth. Donald Trump was taken out of context, and so they wanted to spin it across all their political activist accounts, the Democrat agenda, the propaganda, the manipulative tactics that they deploy, and they want you to believe that Donald Trump doesn't care about your pocketbook. He doesn't care about the high costs, the inflation, the so forth. But that's not reality. Donald Trump just merely made mention. There is nothing that can happen here at home that would sway him in making a deal if it doesn't include Iran not obtaining a nuclear bomb. Common sense.
All over this
The people
statement
get
that
it,
you
right.
made the other day. You were asked when you were leaving.
What extent are American financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. I don't think about Americans' financial situation.
That's right. That's a perfect statement.
So,
I'd
but-
make it again.
But you can
Because you
imagine
can-
how many people stop the soundbite
No,
at, I don't think about America's
played that
financial
up.
situation. So what's your response to that
It's
framework?
very simple. When people hear me say it, everybody agrees.
Donald Trump actually told the American people yesterday that when it comes to the negotiations with Iran, he doesn't even think about the financial burden that is affecting average Americans. He doesn't care. So far, consumer prices are up across the board. Electricity is up, beef is up, gasoline is way up. Year-over-year growth, inflation this year increased by 6%. Why is all this happening? First, Donald Trump's horrendous tariffs that he just levied across the board raised prices on us, the consumers, and then a ridiculous war that he started when there was no direct national security threat to the United States that has exponentially increased gas prices. All of the financial pain that average Americans are feeling can be contributed to Trump and his horrendous policies. And he has no idea what the hell he's doing. And those around him don't know what they're doing. And then the gall for him to go out there and be like, no, I'm not even thinking about the financial burden on Americans, because he doesn't care. He's a billionaire. He only cares about himself and helping out extremely rich benefactors. That is it. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care that if you voted for him, that you voted for him. He just is a narcissistic sociopath. And the war with Iran is not even close to being over. There's no deal, even though he says there's a deal in the works. There is none. It is now being reported that Iran has 90% of their missile capacity along the Strait of Hormuz that is operational. It was just recently reported last week or earlier this week that they have above 70% of their entire missile capacity still going, and they've been rebuilding during the ceasefire. The highly enriched uranium is still in Iran. Who knows if the United States even knows where that is? So we've gotten nothing out of this war except for death of American service members and extremely high prices because of Donald Trump. So for all of you who voted again for him, I hope you're happy, because you did this.
On gas prices, how much longer will Americans continue to see these high gas prices?
Well, they're not very high. If you look at what they were supposed to be in order to get rid of a nuclear weapon with the danger that entails. So the gas prices have come down very much over the last 3-4 days.
Still?
I know, and that's what ABC says. But the fact is that if you look at the stock market's up, everything's doing really well. And the big thing we have to do is we have to make sure that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, because if they do, you want to talk about problems, you'd have problems. So very important is that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, and they've agreed to that. Iran's agreed to that, and they've agreed to it very powerfully. They've agreed to give us back the nuclear dust that's way underground because of the attack we made with the B-2 bomber. So we have a lot of agreement with Iran, and I think something's going to happen very positive.
Those one who thought Trump cares about anyone, you're wrong. The guy doesn't care about American people. Your financial situation, just work hard. And there's no job. Groceries are very expensive. Gas is very expensive. And the guy is saying he doesn't care about your financial situation. Yet is still a president of the United States.
Trump said he don't care nothing about y'all. He don't care nothing about y'all financial situation. What part y'all don't be believing that he actually, when it comes out of his mouth, he don't care nothing about the American people. The man keeps saying it over and over and over and over again, and y'all just seem not to want to believe it. How if something comes straight out of your mouth and everybody else here but you? Trump don't care. Look at the gas prices. Y'all allow him to bamboozle you into believing that the gas prices was going to go down. The eggs was going to go down. Y'all voted for Trump because of eggs? Is that the story y'all telling yourself? Baby, y'all know y'all was in special education. Because y'all have no comprehension of eggs? The man say he don't care nothing about the American people. Ooh.
Trump, in a clear state of mania, posted about Obama more than 50 times the other night. He's deranged. He's obsessed. He's mentally declining at a rate that we cannot even keep up with. A reporter asked him yesterday, was he going to make a deal with Iran because of Americans' financial strain due to this war? And for the first time since he has become president, he told the truth. He literally said he doesn't care about Americans not being able to afford bread. Not even a little bit. He doesn't care about Americans not being able to afford gas. He doesn't. He said, I only think about one thing, Iran having a nuclear weapon, which we all know is a lie because he is obsessed with and unhinged about Obama and Biden. He needs to be concerned. Gas has literally doubled since the war in Iran has started. And Trump is saying he's going to suspend federal gas tax to bring down the cost of gas, but he has to get congressional approval to do that. And that's going to cost $500 million a week. All while our national debt is rising at an astronomical rate. It is set to hit $40 trillion with a T before the midterms. The midterms are in just 6 months. And that is more than double our national debt since Trump first took office in 2017. I know that's just a number to some of us, but let me put it in perspective for you. A higher national debt affects interest rates for people, us regular people, us regular Americans. That affects our interest rates on mortgages, cars, credit cards. A higher national debt drives up the everyday cost of things like groceries, goods, services. A higher national debt reduces funding for Social Security, Medicaid, and we all know that disproportionately affects our most vulnerable society. A higher national debt raises income taxes, sales taxes. It reduces the government's ability to respond to like the recession that we're inevitably going in. It reduces the government's ability to respond to like national emergencies. There's an attack happening on our democracy as we speak, and it's an inside job. Intelligent and thoughtful voting is the only way out of this, and we have to make sure that we vote early and in every single election that we have the opportunity to. The primaries are happening all over the country right now, and we have 6 months until the midterms. Know who and what is on your ballot. My name is Augusta Renee, and I hope you have the day you voted for. And if you didn't vote, you're going to have the day that somebody else did.
He doesn't care about what you're going through, how whether you've eaten, he doesn't care. Do you think that this Trump should continue being the president of the United States? Tell me what you think down in the comment.
Donald Trump says he doesn't care about the finances of Americans.
I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody.
He's going to keep fighting this war in Iran without concern for what it's doing for the prices and costs for Americans. Let me tell you some basic facts, Mr. President. Gas is up 28%. Energy and utility costs up 18%. Airlines up nearly 20%. Beef up 14%. How about starting to care about bringing those prices down and ending this war in Iran?
To what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. It's the only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran. They can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody.
Credit card debt's at an all-time high because families are going into debt paying for household essentials like gas, food, toilet paper at an average of 22% interest. And Donald Trump is using the power of the presidency to make his family richer than they've ever been in history. Here are all the companies that the Trump family are invested in that have ties to the war in Iran and Venezuela. Now, these three companies, Powers, Extend, and Unusual Machines, are in negotiations right now with the Gulf states to be the premier drone supplier in the Middle East. I'm talking attack drones, defense drones, drone AI, drone parts, drone fucking everything. And not only that, but they're getting Pentagon contracts. His family is making generational wealth off of this war. Meanwhile, Fox News just said this.
Consumers are literally running out of money.
Hey, me and Brad Doggett are doing a deep dive on this, so stay tuned.
You all know that Trump's economy, it has failed. It's a failure. So it will take years for the upcoming president to revamp this economy. Instead of focusing on how we can get a better economy, we are continuing fighting and threatening other countries.
Trump doesn't care about you. I know this isn't a surprise to a lot of us, but for those who still think that Trump actually is fighting for you, he's not. This is never about you. It was about him and his family being in power and making money off the American people. Trump's made over $4 billion in his second term alone. That is 10,000 times his presidential salary, by the way, for those who say that he's so noble for not taking it. People in his close circles are making millions off of trading probabilities of what's going to happen with this war. That's why you're seeing the thrash back and forth, back and forth. We never know. Is the war on? Is it off? Did we achieve our goals? Did we not? Because it is for his manipulation. He is extracting value from this. He doesn't care. He said it multiple times in this interview. He does not care about Americans' financial situation. It's all about him. It's all about the people in his close circle. So it's really no surprise he doesn't care about you or me. We're dealing with gas prices over $4 a gallon. We're dealing with inflation that just hit 3.8%, but he doesn't care. So as long as Trump is still in office, the American people are going to foot the bill for his greed and incompetence.
Fox host Brett Baier just gave Donald Trump a chance to clarify one of the most shocking things he's said recently, and that's a long list. And Trump, in typical Trump fashion, didn't walk it back at all. In fact, he doubled down. Baier played Trump the clip of himself saying he doesn't think about Americans' financial situation. Most politicians would immediately try to soften the comments, but not Trump. Instead, he smiled and said, "That's a perfect statement. I'd make it again." Think about that for a second. Millions of Americans are struggling right now with things like groceries, rent, gas, healthcare, childcare, credit card debt. It goes on. And the current president of the United States openly admits those struggles are not something he gives a damn about. Then he doubled down on national television. What makes this moment so powerful politically is that it cuts directly against the image that Trump is desperately himself trying to sell. You know, that he's fighting for the working class Americans. Because when someone tells you they don't think about your financial situation, believe them. And the fact that he said it proudly and is not apologizing and is, in fact, doubling down is exactly why these clips are exploding online right now. Share your thoughts in the comment section and follow me for more.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.